The cafe froze the instant the girl spoke because her voice carried a strength that silenced every sound around her. Can I sit here? The U.S. Marine lifted his eyes, trained by years of combat to scan for danger. Yet what he saw disarmed him completely. A small girl stood on metal crutches, one leg missing below the knee, a pink dress hanging loosely, her hands trembling, while her gaze stayed brave. At his side, his German shepherd straightened, ears sharp, watching her not as a threat but as someone important. The Marine paused, memories crashing in. Without warning, years earlier in a shattered village overseas, he had carried a wounded child through smoke and screaming chaos, whispering promises he believed he could keep. She died in his arms. That failure followed him home, heavier than any metal, louder than any nightmare. He slowly pulled the chair back. You can sit here, he said. The girl's shoulders relaxed. She moved forward carefully, crutches tapping softly, and the dog stepped closer, steady and calm, placing himself beside her like a living shield. When she finally sat, he rested his head gently against her leg. My name is Lily, she said. He feels kind. He is, the Marine replied. He saves lives. She told him about the accident, a drunk driver. 1 second that erased the future she knew. She spoke about classmates who avoided eye contact, strangers who stared, and the fear she carried every time she entered a room, wondering if she belonged. The Marine listened in silence, fists clenched. Then she asked, "Did you lose something too?" He breathed out slowly. "Friends, parts of myself. I came back, but I never really came home." The dog leaned closer, grounding them both. What Lily didn't know was that this dog once dragged the Marine from a burning vehicle under fire, refusing to let go. What the Marine didn't know was that this conversation was rescuing him now. The cafe watched quietly. Some wiped tears. No one interrupted. As Lily stood to leave, she smiled. "Thank you for letting me sit here today. I didn't feel broken." The Marine stood and saluted, her heart pounding. Healing doesn't always come from time or therapy. Sometimes it comes from courage and one shared table. The Marine felt his throat tighten as she spoke, because no battlefield briefing had ever prepared him for this kind of moment. He noticed the faint scars on her hands from learning how to fall and stand again, the careful way she balanced herself, and the quiet determination that refused to be pied. It reminded him of soldiers he trusted with his life, men and women who kept moving even when everything hurt. Lily asked about the dog, and he told her how they trained together, how loyalty is built through trust, not commands. She listened closely, nodding, absorbing every word like it mattered. For the first time in years, the Marine heard himself speaking without armor, without rehearsed answers, just truth. Outside, snow drifted past the window, but inside the air felt warm and still. Strangers felt connected by something fragile and rare. When Lily laughed softly at something the dog did, the Marine realized it was the first real laugh he had heard since leaving the service. In that moment, neither of them was broken. They were simply human. She adjusted her crutches and took one last look around, holding her head higher than when she entered. The Marine watched her walk away, understanding that strength does not always roar. Sometimes it whispers, asking for a place to belong, and leaves behind a quiet kind of hope that stays long after the chair is empty. The dog followed her with his eyes until the door closed, then looked back at the Marine as if to say the mission was complete. The Marine nodded, knowing that on this day they had both been saved in ways no one else could see. The table remained, but something unseen had changed forever. Hope stayed behind.